Well, good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon and welcome to our Ladies Rules of Golf Clinic. As you all know, my name is Matt Oakley. I'm the PGA head golf professional here at Worthington Country Club and also the vice president of the local PGA. What we're here today to do is to go over some of the rules of golf. Before we get started, we did have a birthday in the room. I do want to make one more announcement. Diane Harbor, stand up, please. Happy birthday. For all of you in the room, we have about 50 ladies here today. Great turnout. As we know, today is March 18th, 2022. We're also videoing this presentation. The link to this will be emailed to all the ladies when we're finished with that, hopefully today, and also will be posted up onto the Worthington website. What's great about that is then for years to come, everyone can enjoy this seminar if they weren't able to attend. Okay. And I can see that everybody chose to sit way in the back. And here's what I'm thinking. They thought if they sat in the front, they might get picked on to ask a rules question. So what we might do is anybody that sat way in the back might be the ones that we pick on for rules questions. No. So here's the format for today's seminar. What I've done, I've taken just a couple of brief presentations here. I've got 3 situations I want to go over first. But what I really want to do today is I want to leave the majority of the time for just a pure question and answer. For any of the ladies that have any question about anything rules, I would love to go over that for you. So why don't I do my 3 kind of presentations here, and then after that we're going to do just raise your hand and I'll take questions. What we do have is we have a little bit of a time constraint here. We've got the lottery at 3 o'clock that I need to get back for, so I've got till about 2:45 before they'll start really needing me. So I got about an hour or so to answer everybody's questions. Okay, so without further ado, let's hop right to our scenario number 1. What I've done here on the left-hand side, and I'll make sure if you can't see, I know in the back might be a little tougher, but what I've drawn here is I've drawn a picture of hole number 10. And one of the most common questions that we get is, I've hit my ball in the water. What do I do next? How do I correctly drop if I've hit my ball in the water? So you can see here, I've drawn number 10. Here's the green. You can see there's a tee box here. And obviously over here, unfortunately, we got some stuff that we would like to avoid. A nice, pretty pond, doesn't it? Wawa. We do not want to be in there. So here's in this scenario, here's what has happened. We have hit our tee shot. We've hit our tee shot from here, and our tee shot came out into the middle of the fairway. Great shot. Then as we were trying to hit towards the green, oh boy, unfortunately, our ball has gone into the water. So our second shot. When that happens, we have 4 options anytime we hit a ball into what is called a red penalty area. So you can see that by the lake bank, there's spray paint, right, with the red lines. Or some courses you may see red stakes to designate the red penalty area. Red penalty areas are used all over the world to mark areas where you could get some relief from. Okay, so I've hit my ball into what's called a red penalty area. The first thing that I want to do when I hit my ball into a red penalty area is I want to decide where my point of entry is to the penalty area. What that means is that my ball was obviously flying in the air or maybe even rolling on the ground, doesn't matter. But at some point, it went from a good part of the golf course into the bad part of the golf course. Does that make sense? It crossed that red line somewhere, whether it was in the air or on the ground, doesn't matter. In this instance, you can see from my drawing that my point of entry is right here. Can you see that? Right there is my point of entry where my ball went from the good part of the fairway. Even though it curved and flew over here or went way up here, it does not matter where it splashes. This is my point of entry. That's the first key term. Anytime your ball goes into a red, you need to determine your point of entry. Where'd it go in? Flying in the air, and you have to decide. No one else can tell you. You got to kind of look at your shot and go, well, I think it was about right here. Make sense? So once you've established your point of entry, you have 4 options if your ball goes into a red penalty area. Option number 1, and hopefully the best one, is you can play it free of charge. So let's say, for example, your ball didn't go all the way and splash into the pond. It's on the bank between the red line and the water's edge. Ever happened to you? Happened to me. You bet. Happens all the time. So that is one of the things that could happen, is your ball could not go all the way into the pond. It could be between the red line and the pond. If that is the case, you can go in there if you choose to and play it free of charge, no penalty. That's option number 1. I hope you get to use that one a bunch. Looks like we got someone coming in here. Come on in, ladies. You have to sit right in the front and you have to answer all the questions. Now, I think there's plenty of chairs in the back. I can see back there by the balloons. All right. Yeah, I duped them into thinking if they sat here, they'd get picked on. But really, if you go way back there, you're going to get picked on. All right. So I've got my point of entry, and option number 1, I can play it for free. Option number 2 is I can replay the shot where I came from with a 1-stroke penalty. And you have to choose. This is what's great about the rules of golf. Not all of the rules of golf are there to hurt you. A lot of times the rules of golf are there to help you. And this may be, in some instances, your best option. Go back where you started from, take a 1-stroke penalty, and hit it again. That's option number 2. Option number 3, if you don't mind, we'll get through the 4 options, and then we'll go through questions on this segment, and we'll go on to the next. Option number 3 is that you could take 2 club lengths no closer to the hole. That's called lateral relief. That's the one you probably use the most often. What that would mean is I would take my point of entry, and I can take 2 club lengths no closer to the hole. 1 club length, 2 club length. I would drop my ball there, and I can play from there. Everyone knows that one, right? You've used that one all the time. 2 club lengths sideways from where your point of entry was, but not closer to the hole. So my 2 club lengths, I couldn't go this way, could I? That's getting me closer to the hole. I've got to go directly sideways. That's option number 3 with a 1-stroke penalty. I could go 2 club lengths to the side. Option number 4 is one that not a lot of people know about, but can be very useful in some circumstances, including this one. Option number 4 is that when I go into a red penalty area, I can take the pin and my point of entry, I can draw a straight line, and I can go backwards as far as I want to infinity. I'll show you what that could look like. Let's see if I can get this kind of straight. There's the pin, agreed. There's my point of entry, so I would draw I hope my line is straight. I could go backwards as far as I wanted to on a straight line between my pin and my point of entry and go backwards. What you would use this for is yardage. Let's say, for example, your favorite shot in the entire game, 100 yards, 50 yards, whatever the number is. I've got my favorite shot and my favorite club, and I know from that distance, I usually hit a pretty darn good shot. You can use this option to get you exactly to that position. Find out where that position is, drop right on your favorite yardage. Or angle is another reason why you might use this, to get a better angle. And also, this could get you away from the slope. That thing slopes down pretty good, doesn't it? And the 2 club lengths may not get you all the way to the top of the slope. So you could go backwards a little bit and get onto flatter ground. There would be some reasons why you would use the 4th option, which is straight back with a 1-stroke penalty. So again, 1, play it for free. 2, replay it with a 1-stroke penalty. 3, 2 club lengths to the side with a 1-stroke penalty. Or 4, you could use the pin, your point of entry, and go backwards as far as you want with a 1-stroke penalty. Any questions about this rule? Go ahead. I think she had a question first. Go ahead.
I had a question. Number 2 says replay and you get the penalty.
Yes.
But wouldn't you have to replay from the tee box?
No, because I've already hit 1 shot to the good. The shot that I hit into the water. Sorry. I hit a tee shot. I'm sitting here, and it doesn't matter whether I went in 1 or 2, but I hit 1 here first, and then I did a dotted line to say my second shot went in there. Sorry. Sorry, yes. Or even if you had done it in the tee, it would be the same as then you would go back and re-tee. You're exactly right. Please go ahead, Dan.
The only thing is that when you take a lateral, it's 2 club lengths from the red line.
Correct.
And not from the water.
That's correct. Yes, you use the red line. Correct. Go ahead.
So do you have to go to the end of those 2 club lengths?
No, you do not. Here's what's great about the 2 club lengths. The USGA in 2019 changed the rules of golf in a great way in most instances to help us out. So I've drawn my 2 club lengths to the side here. What I get is what's called an arc from there. I can drop anywhere in this arc. Does that make sense? It's 2 club lengths and 2 club lengths backwards. And I can draw, and I have this is now what's called a relief zone. And I can drop anywhere in that relief zone. So good question. I could go only 1 foot or 2 foot or 8 foot or half a club or 1 full club or all the way out to 2 clubs, but no further than 2 clubs.
Can you set the ball or do you have to drop it?
No, when we drop a ball, when we're taking a penalty relief or any type of relief, unfortunately, we've got to drop. But what's great about the new 2019 USGA rules of golf is they've lessened the severity of how you drop. We now drop our golf ball from knee height. So we take the ball from knee height, we let go, and the ball drops. Used to be you had to drop up here, and it would go all over the place, and lots of crazy stuff would happen. My knee is right here.
No, I know. You kind of bend, can you bend down?
Go ahead, Sus.
Well, you're showing that from the point of entry, you've taken your release to the right. You could have come parallel to the red in this direction also.
Yeah, looking at close to the pin, and my drawing might not be precisely precise, but I'm pretty good here. If this is the pin and there's my point of entry, that's probably about as parallel to that line as I could get. You're right, it may curve and be this way.
I have gone, think of that as a clock from the point of entry. Couldn't have gone towards 8 o'clock.
Yeah, what's great is you'd still be in the zone, wouldn't you?
No, I'm still talking further. More. I don't want to go up there.
What we know is 2 club lengths.
Yeah, as long
Like
as
to
I'm
the
staying
left.
within 2 club lengths and not getting any closer, couldn't I consider my 2 club lengths going this way? I mean, I don't mind the water. That's me.
Yeah,
I could have gone this way, and then my arc becomes way over there.
You're right. Most people aren't looking to, in that instance, you would be losing yardage. And she's saying she doesn't care about the yardage. So she's right. You can take from the point of entry, as long as you're not going closer to the hole, you're right. You could take that arc starting here, could probably go all the way around that way. As long as it's no more than 2 club lengths and it's not closer to the hole. Go ahead.
You have to keep it in the same conditions, be the same grass.
Not correct. If 2 club lengths gets you better, good for it. Correct. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yes.
I was told I had to, from the point I went in the water, I could go back, but it had to be from where I went in to the pin, it had to be at that angle.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, it's the one we just drew. So option number 4, this is the one that confuses people the most. She's asking that question, and I think you've got a good one. So in this instance, my point of entry was here. Let's start that one all the way over again with a clean sheet. How about that? My point of entry is here. I'll make it really big. That's where my ball crossed, even if it was my tee shot or whatever it was, and it went in there, right? There's my point of entry. I take the pin, my point of entry, and I have to draw a straight line from there, and I can go backwards as far as I want that direction.
So you really can't go to the left like she was saying.
What she is saying is that in the 2 club lateral leaf rule, once she's got her point of entry, now I can draw this correctly. If she wanted to, and what she's saying is that this is a little bit more parallel to the green than maybe my drawing shows. Her ability, anyone's ability to go 2 club lengths goes this way, and she's right, would also go that way, which then would create a 2 club length arc, which would create a drop zone somewhere in there. As long as it's not closer to the hole. This one going this way clearly is not closer to the hole. Clearly not. Maybe my one here is, yeah, but I'm a little off. I get it. It would go a little bit more this way, wouldn't it? There we go. Go ahead.
I think, my clarify, in a scramble, you get the club length.
Yes,
That has to be the same condition.
that's correct. Right here, think of it this way. Anytime you're getting a penalty for moving it, you get a lot of more stuff than if it's free. Good stuff. Go ahead.
If I decide my point of entry, and someone disagrees with me, don't I have final say as to where I entered the plan?
We're looking for some type of agreement within the foursome. This is where the rules of golf get slightly gray. You're right. It is the player's responsibility, and the player's responsibility only, to estimate, to assess themselves penalties and to estimate. However, you get into a situation where you're in a foursome, and she's saying it went in way over here, and everyone knows it went back there. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's where we can do, a little bit of an intervention and say, I think it might have been a little bit more back there. Okay, and that is your job inside of that foursome, to make sure that that foursome can agree. And look, if you're the person who hit it, and the other 3 people are saying, back here, we have to understand that they probably maybe saw it a little bit better than you did. Okay. Go ahead.
the depth of your arc, is there a limitation to that?
2 clubs. Yeah, my arc here is, so let's start that one. All over one more time. Every time I draw it a little different, don't I? See if I can do a really good one. What's difficult is this guy's curving on me, and that's why it's getting a little tough. I would say your 2 club lengths no closer would go 1, 2, and then this way 1, 2, and then no more than 2 this way 1, 2, and then I need to connect those points. Does that make sense? There we go. Now I got what they now call a relief zone. Oh, the FSGA would be really proud of me. That one's really good. That's exactly. That's what that should look like in that instance, because the bank is going this way and it also curves and goes that way. That's exactly what it would look like in that instance. Most of the time, it's more of one of these guys. It's 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then you would tie those all together in geometry to make what's called the drop zone. All right.
Could you clarify drop for me? If you're dropping from your knee
Yes.
to get a line, you're taking a penalty.
Yes.
You can drop it once if it's okay with you.
Yeah,
but if
so-
you drop it twice.
Nope, here's the rule for dropping. I can clarify that for you. Okay? I'm getting ready. I've hit my ball on the water, and I'm going to do my drop thing, right? And I get my ball from my knee. The earth is not flat, unfortunately, and not all lies are flat, are they? A lot of times you're going to be dropping on a curved surface or a sloped surface. So the first thing that I want to do is I get to where my place is. I didn't bring any clubs, and I should have today. I do my 1 club length, 2 club lengths. I should put a tee in the ground. I pick my club up. I got a tee. I know I got to need to drop right there. And I'm ready to go, and I drop my ball, and it rolls and goes all the way back towards the water. Here's the deal. If that ball rolls more than 2 club lengths, you must redrop it. If that ball rolls back across the red line, you must redrop it. If that ball goes even 1 inch closer to the hole as it rolls, you must redrop it. If it does not, the ball's in play. Does that make sense? Okay, hang on. So let's do the scenario. We're on the steep curved bank. We do our 2 club lengths up the hill a little bit, gets us closer to the top. We drop, and it rolls all the way back down past the red line. I would then get to drop a second time, and I try again. If it does the same thing, then I get to take my fingers, place it on the ground where it hit the ground, and my ball's in play. So those 3 situations again that you would have to redrop is if it rolls more than 2 club lengths, or goes back across the red line, or should happen to go out of bounds, or any of those things. Or if it goes even 1 inch closer to the hole as it rolls, you've got to redrop.
So
Okay.
for any drop where you're taking a penalty,
Any drop.
that applies.
Any drop anywhere. Anytime you are dropping a ball for any reason from knee height, that's what we do. Good. Can we move on from this one? Great. I'm not looking. Okay, next. I tried to pick 3 kind of fun ones that we get a lot, and to try to get a lot of questions answered before we get to question answer. The next one that happens that we hear quite a bit is you're in a bunker and your ball is close to or touching the rake. Ever happened to you? Yeah, happens all the time. Remembering here at Worthington Country Club, our rule is that we like the rakes to be half in, half out of the bunker, handle out, teeth in, perpendicular to the green. Okay, so I've got my rake in the right spot. You can see my ball. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. My ball is touching that rake, and it's on a slope, let's say. I go in. Obviously, I can't hit my ball. It's touching the rake. I don't deserve to have to hit my bunker shot from the rake. Make sense? So the first thing I would do in this instance is I would take the rake, and I would move it. Get it out of my way so I can hit my shot. I don't have to hit that shot touching the rake. Ball's either going to stay there, and if it does, then your ball's in play, and you just play it. If the ball moves, even an inch, if I move the rake and the ball moves, you deserve, free of charge, to place the ball back where it went, regardless if you like that or not. So I had somebody one time who was on the slope of the bunker when they moved the rake. The ball, when they moved the rake, the ball went down to the bottom in a nice flat part. You know, oh, I like that. Too bad. Got to go back. So you would pick the ball out of the bottom of the bunker, put it in your hands, and you get to go. You can actually usually see the impression of where it was before. Place that ball there. You do not have to drop it. You can place it because you deserve to have that same lie you had if the rake had not been there. That one's a super easy one. The rake is what's called a movable obstruction. There are several other types of movable obstructions as well. Can anyone think of one? Pine straw is not a movable obstruction. Not even close. A cart sign. Yeah. A cart sign is a great example of a movable obstruction. You've hit your ball down the middle of the fairway, right up against the stupid sign that says carts go this way. Happens, right? Okay. If your ball's touching it or close to it, if your ball stance or swing are affected by the little sign that says carts go this way or any other kind of sign for any other reason, you would get free relief from the sign. Obviously, one of the easiest things, take the sign out of the ground, move it, and hit your shot. But if it's a big thing or something that you couldn't move, you could then get your free relief. That's exactly the same thing. You move the sign out of the way, hit the shot. It's called a movable obstruction. If you cannot move the sign, it's called an immovable obstruction. Let's think of an example of an immovable obstruction. One of those big, a water fountain. Yeah, one of those green cone things that are by the, right, where they have where the sprinklers are coming out of. That kind of stuff is an immovable obstruction. Whoa, hang on. She's hit a good one. She said white steak. White steak. Can I move a white steak? Too bad for you. Same as the fence on 17. Stinks, but it's the truth. Red steak, yes. White steak, no. Too bad for you. Got to play the shot. If it's up against the fence or it's up against the white steak, too bad. Okay. So remove the rake. If the ball moves, free replace. Any questions about balls and rakes and obstructions? Go.
In the sand, my ball is up against the lip.
Yes.
Personally, I have the right to say, I don't want to play, it's an unplayable line to me. I can move it back into a more favorable spot with a one-stroke penalty.
You have two options. You have two options in a bunker. At any time in golf, you can say, almost like waving the white flag, this stinks. I hate where I am. I want to move. You can do that. So what she's saying is her ball is plugged into the lip of the bunker. Or is even if it's not plugged, it's just up against the lip. And boy, oh boy, hitting that next shot would not be very fun. I have two options with two different penalties. For one stroke, I can take it 2 club lengths, sideways or backwards, and do the same thing. I got that little arc looking little thing, right? And do this. However, I must drop the ball from knee height in the bunker. What's going to happen when you do that? Probably going to plug. Okay? That's one shot penalty. I can do that, which would get me away from the lip, get me out of, or in a footprint, or plugged in buried in the lip. Very good choice sometimes. For 2 shots, I can go here, which would be behind the bunker. Let's say the pin is here. This is new and one of the greatest 2019 changes in the rules of golf. You never have to hit a bunker shot again if you chose not to. It's going to cost you 2 every time, but think this through. Hang on, ladies. Think this through for a second. Some people take 2 to get out of the bunker almost every single the time anyway. You know, if they're not strong bunker players, sometimes think about it, that might be your best option. Okay, so for 1 stroke, you drop in the bunker, no more than 2 club lengths away from where it is. For 2 strokes, you can go behind the bunker. You have to hit over the bunker for the next one, but you're not in it anymore. Great question. All right, next one. Anybody else? All right, I may have had some fun with this next one. I had a little bit of fun with this one. Thank you. I was literally in a rules seminar one time, and this scenario came up. The lady actually said this. Okay, she said, what would happen if I'm on the tee box? I've hit a beautiful drive down the middle of the fairway. I hit my second shot towards the green. Bigfoot. Bigfoot comes running out of the yard, I don't know, right from in between the houses, Bigfoot, grabs my ball, whew, gone. Now, what usually happens in this instance, dog. I have seen dogs come in. They think it's tennis ball. They think you're playing. They're like, hey, cool, somebody's throwing me a ball, and they're going to play fetch. Okay. So, the scenario here, most likely dog, another person, or a mower. What if a mower ran over your ball? Yeah, it happens. Absolutely. So they're all kind of the same scenario. Bigfoot obviously was kind of cute and kind of fun. But if Bigfoot comes and takes your ball, a dog comes and takes your ball, another person for whatever reason comes, oh, look at that golf ball, takes your ball and walks away, or the mower comes and hits it or moves it, or somebody else's cart runs it over, anything that would move your ball for free, you get to estimate. I think it was here. Forget Bigfoot. I think it was here when Bigfoot took it. I get to put it back there for free with my fingers, place it on the ground. Bigfoot. I'm not kidding. In 20 plus years, you get every question there ever could be. What if Bigfoot came? So that's what happens if someone or something, this is called a ball in motion, deflected or stopped, moved. It happens in other instances, but most likely, the one thing I have personally seen is dog. Anybody seen a dog come out? Yeah, right? Dog comes boogieing out, he thinks he's playing catch with them and grabs your ball and runs. Monkeys? Not seen any monkeys. Africa? Africa? South Africa? Nairobi, okay.
So if you hit one of those signs that carts go this way
Yes.
and it deflects
Yes.
your ball, can you move it back to where the
She's got a great question.
No.
She's got a great question. 2 instances. Bigfoot standing there before you hit. You just never saw him. He hits Bigfoot and knocks it way over here. Too bad. The cart path sign, a sprinkler head box, anything like those little signs they put here and say, carts go this way, hits that sign. Too bad. Wherever the ball deflects and goes, it's called rub of the green. It's just part of the game. It happens, not very often, but it does happen. If it hits anything while it's out there, it's kind of is what it is. Good question.
Now, what about if you hit it, it doesn't go over the red line, it doesn't all the way go in the water, but when you go to get to it, it's near that area?
Yes.
And you see an alligator laying 2 feet away, or even 5 feet away, it's like, you don't want to be 5 feet away.
Yeah, the rules of golf allow for, if your ball is in play, for you to take relief from a dangerous situation, which would be your nearest relief plus 1 club length.
Did you say in play?
Yes.
So if it's in the hazard area, it's not in play?
Let me take a closer look at that. It's called a dangerous situation. I brought my trusty rule book. I knew this was coming. I know you think I know every single rule by heart. Pretty close, but some of these I want to make sure before I answer the question. Okay, ladies. Dangerous animal condition, page 140. When relief is allowed. Now we have to determine whether Bigfoot's dangerous or not. All right. A dangerous animal condition exists when a dangerous animal, such as a poisonous snake, stinging bee, alligators, fire ants, or bears, near a ball could cause serious physical injury to the player if he or she had to play it as it lies. A player may take free relief from interference by a dangerous animal no matter where his ball on the course, except relief is not allowed when clearly unreasonable because of something other than the dangerous animal. You're making up the dangerous animal. I don't see the alligator hiding underneath the water that you see. Only when you choose to take a weird stance that would put the alligator or fire ant. They're mostly talking about fire ants here. That used to be a really cool way you could kind of get around the rules a little bit. Oh, ants. Right next to my ball. I can't stand there. Get you up away from a tree. Or they're talking more about the ants than the alligators. Basically, it's saying relief for dangerous animal conditions. Anywhere except for a penalty area. So if your ball, that's what stinks, right? That's where the alligators are. They're in the red. Yeah, they're not out in the middle of the fairway. So if you're in the red,
Stay in the hazard?
what it's saying is you can still take free relief. You got to stay inside the penalty area, Ms. Delaney. You can take free relief from the alligator. You just got to stay inside the red. So you could go, okay, alligators right next to our area. You could go this way. You still got to stay inside the red to play. You can't go any closer to the hole. As long as you stay inside the red, you can get away from the alligator and play. I don't think that would be a good choice in that instance. I think I'd let him have it and take my penalty and be done with it. All right, let's move on. No more Bigfoot. They call this Zamboni. We're doing a Zamboni in between periods of a hockey game. We got to clean the ice. There's only 3 people that knew what I was even saying. Who grew up in the North and played? Yeah, who's watched hockey? Don't leave. Yeah, you got to be smooth. All right, question and answer. Really good one. Yep. I got you. You're welcome. Good enough, right? Okay, what she asked is the cart path thing. All right, we're playing golf. We're headed towards this green. We got a cart path on the right side of this fairway, and my ball has landed on the cart path right there. Okay, what the rules say is here at Worthington, if it is a coquina cart path, too bad for you. If it is a concrete cart path, you do not deserve to have to play a shot from the concrete cart path. Here is where we get relief in this instance, free of charge, is we get our nearest relief from the cart path, ball stance and swing, plus 1 club length. So let's do that. What I would do in this instance, I have to find my point of nearest relief. Okay? And where people are going to try to get you is there's going to be trees over here, bushes, there's going to be trees over here, right? And they're going to say, well, to get away from that tree, I want to go over here, whatever it is. They're going to try to get you on which side they think they get to drop on. Here's the real deal. Regardless of what's over here, does not matter. Erase them from your memory. Erase them from your vision. If there's trees, bushes, do not matter, okay? Your point of nearest relief is what's important. Your point of nearest relief in this particular instance, can you see my dot and which position it is on the cart path? I'm going to do another dot in a second that will be a different side of the cart path. For a right-handed player, it is very clear that my point of nearest relief, where I'm no longer affected by that cart path, by my stance, my swing, or the ball, would be right here. No closer to the hole. Agreed? That is my point where I could take my 2 little tootsies right there. I could put my club on the ground, and I could hit, ooh. And I could hit that, it's on video too. I could hit that shot, no problem, okay? My 2 little tootsies are right here, those are my feet, and that would be my shot, right-handed player. Do you agree? That is clearly, and what we say the distance between where my ball is, and that is a foot, let's say, or 2 feet. Whereas, to put my 2 little tootsies on this side, to put my 2 feet right here and try to hit a ball that's there, that distance is clearly further, which would be my point of relief. That is my point of nearest relief. That's where nearest came from. Does that make sense in a right-handed player that my point of nearest relief is on this side for a right-handed player? And I'll be honest, it probably is for a left-handed player too. Because then your 2 little tootsies would be here, heels on the cart path, and the ball comes out there. That distance is still probably closer than here. Agreed? So it's about measurement. Does that make sense? I'll flip the script here. We'll flip the script, and here is where it changes. Completely different again. Oh, my marker is already starting to die. Okay, this time, my ball is here. And what's really fun, there's always going to be trees and bushes along here, let's say. And the guy's saying, no, I get to go on this side, right? I'm over here. These trees and bushes do not matter. Again, it's where is my point of nearest relief. So for here, my point of nearest relief would be where my heels are touching that cart path. And then I would drop my ball 1 club length from there, which would be about in that position, right? And if I measure from where my ball originally was to that new position, let's say that's 2 feet. Would you agree that for a right-handed golfer to put his 2 little tootsies right over here and have the ball be there, that distance is further than this distance? Makes sense, doesn't it? This is clearly their point of nearest relief. It may not be strategically advantageous because of the trees or whatever happened to be over here. That does not matter. It's got to be the point of nearest relief. Go ahead.
Isn't there a penalty if you don't take complete relief? Like if your heel, you make your drop and you still have your.
What they've done with that is they've now created that relief zone so that you can take within the nearest relief plus 1 club length would then be this way 1 club, that way 1 club, and so your drop area would be there.
But I think what she's asking is that still, can you have your feet on the front?
No, that's why it's your nearest relief. That's where people get confused. You have to take relief first. It's your nearest point of relief. Relief meaning my feet are no longer touching it. My stance is no longer affected by it, and my ball is no longer on it.
Okay, I see people all the time who take a quick drop and next thing you know, their heels are still on the cart path.
No good.
So it's a 1.5.
So they would then need to redrop that, which is free, no problem. They haven't done anything wrong. They've got to make sure that they drop the ball correctly and get it. The ball's not in play yet because she's not taking complete relief yet.
Is it a penalty if they keep their heels on that cart path and then play the stroke?
Can't you choose to? Can't you just say,
No, you can't choose to. You have to. If you're going to take relief from the cart path, you have to take complete relief before you play the next stroke. If you played from that position, you would be playing from the wrong place.
do you have to take relief?
I'm not sure.
Can you get off the cart path?
Let's stop. Hang on. Okay. When you're taking relief from an abnormal, this is an immovable obstruction. This is called an immovable obstruction. If you're going to take relief from this, you must take complete relief before you play your next shot. If you play your next shot without taking complete relief, you would incur a penalty, which is you're playing from the wrong place.
What if you're on 15 and you're in the bushes?
Hang on. Let me answer her question, and then we'll go to the next one. Okay, so now we're played from the wrong place. All right, 123, we've played from the wrong place. Penalty for playing a ball from the wrong place is what's called the general penalty, which is loss of hole in match play, 2 strokes in stroke play. You had a good one. Go ahead.
What if your ball comes thrust in the bushes on the right side? And you would be standing on the cart path and you can't get relief. What do you do then?
Okay, she's saying she's on, I'm assuming you're on 15, right? Or 1. She's on the right side of 15. She's saying there's bushes and trees and all kinds of bad stuff over here, right? So her ball is on the cart path, right? You on the paved cart path. Regardless if that's why I was talking about trees and bushes and whatever. Regardless of whether there's bushes or anything over there, your point of nearest relief for a right-handed golfer is right of that cart path, which is in the bushes, which you're not going to do. I understand that. Okay, so from there, since if that relief is not something that you want to do, you would have to take your ball unplayable, which means that you would then be able to take 2 club lengths, no closer, not going to help you. Not going to help you, right? 2 club lengths, no closer is going to get you either more in the cart path or, right? Or 2, replay the shot, ding, 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 with a 1-stroke penalty. Or in an unplayable lie situation, probably not going to help you on 15, but some other areas it might. Again, we can always take that line from the point of entry backwards all we want. Yeah, there's a lot of holes where the cart path's on the right, and then there's a big open space before the, before something else could be, and back here might be a good choice.
Matt, can you do the exact same scenario with 7 and the bushes when the ball goes into the bushes close to the green?
Yeah, where there's the curve.
You make your dot com say.
Man, draw all of 7 because I have another. I'm back to the lake question.
You slap. Oh, he's making the green. Green is green. Green is green.
I know he's trying.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Very
Very close to the front.
Okay, we are on lucky number 7. Yeah, everybody's favorite. Everybody's favorite. Okay, we got a cart path, we got some bushes, and we got a fence, which is out of bounds, correct? Okay, if your ball is in the bushes, but not across the fence, it's the same thing as 17, isn't it? Too bad. Those bushes are in play. Out of bounds does not exist until the fence. So if your ball is in the bushes but not across the fence, your ball is in play. And so your option there would be to take an unplayable lie. In an unplayable lie, our options are 1, replay the shot with a 1-stroke penalty. Might be your best one. Never know. Okay, you'd be hitting 3 from the tee. Not so bad. Or you can take, in an unplayable lie situation, let's say our ball is here, right in the middle of the bushes, right? You can take 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole. Unfortunately, we can't go out of bounds, so our drop area for an unplayable in that situation is not very good, is it? It's not real good, unless there's a hole in the bushes somewhere. Woo, I could drop it there. And within 2 club lengths, okay? Or, in an unplayable lie, we can take the pin and our golf ball and go backwards as far as we want, all the way into Palmyra. Can't do that. So in this option, what is I only have 3 choices. What can I do here? You have to. You have no choice. Or try to whack it out of the bushes. Think it through. You're going to be lying 3 after your next shot, regardless of whether you try to whack it out of the bush. You're going to be hitting your 3rd shot, right? Whether you try to whack it out of the bushes or re-tee. Unless you are sure you can get that ball out of those bushes, re-tee might be your best option. So if you hit your ball in that area, listen, please. If you hit your ball in that area on hole number 7, you think it might be in the bushes or maybe even across the fence, you don't know, hit a provisional ball so that if you get here and you decide it is in the bushes just like I thought, you don't have to go all the way back and re-tee. That's what's tough about TV golf. They just send them back. Let them play, but we're in a different world, aren't we? We have to play where there's 4 groups waiting on the tee, waiting to hit. Very good.
Some people go backwards, like into where that opening is by the butterfly garden, but they're still not on the park yet.
Sure. That would, if so, let's say, so this is one that's a little more common. It's to the left of the green, but as I drew, it goes all the way up into the butterfly garden, doesn't it? And so let's say my ball was here instead. I still have those same relief options, which would be 2 club lengths and 2 that way, and I would get an arc that I could drop in here, which, yes, may take you back into maybe a flat area of the butterfly garden. Butterfly garden's in play and still ready to go. That could be an option if we were over the green or just back left of the green rather than all the way to the side of the green. Go ahead.
I saw a guy get off the tee and hit over to the house across the pond.
Yes.
Throw his cot over there and hit the ball from that lady's grass onto the green and came back.
Yeah, your rules on the scorecard are very clear. In that instance, it says that the opposite margin of any lake is out of bounds. Right on the scorecard.
I guess some men need one of these things too.
Did you give us certificates?
Okay. Go ahead.
We're on 13, and I've hit my ball into the tall weeds. And right.
Sorry, 13?
13.
13 tall weeds. Oh, I got you.
So I say, and if you can clarify this rule,
Go ahead.
I don't want to look for the ball.
Yes.
I say it's a dead ball,
It's called abandon. You can abandon your ball anytime you want. Don't even go look for it. I'm reteeing.
but I can pick it up. I can retee and pick up the ball, and even if I find the ball, I can pick it up, but I retee.
One of your options anytime in the game of golf is to replay the last shot. If the last shot was taken from a tee box off a tee, that means your next shot can be off the tee box off a tee.
Okay.
It's cost you 1.
Abandon and take a one-stroke penalty.
Correct.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
I think what the rest of her question was, if she drives around and then she sees it on the other side,
Just pick it up.
just pick it up, right?
Pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, once she's played 3 from the tee, she's already abandoned that ball. It doesn't matter if she finds it or not. Now, for her personal collection of balls, it'd be great to find it, right?
Where somebody hit the wrong ball.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
So now somebody hits the wrong ball.
The first person who hits the wrong ball is the penalized one.
Well, all right. So they hit the wrong ball, and then the other person thinks that the other ball is theirs.
Right.
So they hit the wrong ball.
What's really cool about that one, they both get it.
So what happened?
You are responsible. Hang on. You are responsible for identifying your golf ball before every shot and hitting your golf ball. If you do not, it is a 2-stroke penalty and you must replace. So what usually happens is, as Kaylee and I are playing, we both drive right next to each other. I'm not paying attention. I'm playing a Cowboy. She's playing a Titleist. I walk up and hit her ball. It happens all the time. If I hit her ball, I've just incurred a 2-stroke penalty. I got to go get her ball for her, put it back where it was, not in the divot, and then she gets to deserve to play from there. If she doesn't catch the mistake and walks up and hits mine, she's getting it too.
And then they both go back to the original spot.
Correct. Yes, yeah, and any strokes that were hit don't count. You start back over, but she gets a 2-stroke penalty, and Kaylee got her ball hit. Let's just say in the one instance where it only happened one time, I hit her ball, and then it was the end of it. And she goes, "Oh, I think you might have just hit my ball, right? Did you just hit mine?" "Oh, crap, yeah, I did, didn't I?" I have to go get it, put it back, and then she gets to play from there. When I hit my ball, then I've got a 2-stroke penalty before I hit. Good job. Good question.
I have a question about, I'm gonna use, number, 2 as the example. So I hit a ball and I thought I was OB.
Okay.
So I hit a second ball but when we rode up, I actually wasn't OB. I was told I had to hit the first ball I hit. I couldn't hit the second. Is that true?
Whoa. Whoa.
I played a provisional.
Yeah.
But so
So let's go over it. She's hit her tee shot on any hole. And in her opinion, and only her opinion that matters, by the way, gosh, that's going to be close. That might be out of bounds. She is entitled to hit what's called a provisional ball for a ball that she believed might either be lost in the general area or out of bounds. Okay? If she thinks one of those two things happens, no one can dispute her. And she is allowed to hit what's called a provisional ball, which would be her third shot. She rolls up to, and they did this for speed of play. She rolls up and, oh, by gosh, that first one was good. She plays her first ball, puts the second one in her pocket, no problem.
Okay, but, yeah, so there wouldn't have been, there'd be no reason to play that provisional ball.
Provisional ball was never your ball in play. Your ball in play never went out of bounds, so it was good. You played one to speed up play. She hit one just in case. They'll sucker you into that one thinking that she has to play that second one. She does not. Now, if the ball was out of bounds, she does. Also remember, ladies, the majority of the rules that I'm talking to you about, we're talking about stroke play situations. I heard someone say loss of hole in match play. You're correct. Please take a look at the rules of golf. A lot of these in match play, almost all penalties are loss of hole. Go ahead.
On the tee or whatever that you're hitting a provisional.
You're supposed to announce that you're going to hit a provisional ball.
You can hit it twice until you get up to the ball.
What? I'm sorry.
You can hit your provisional twice if it was a short one.
No. Please only hit the provisional ball one time. Then you've got to go find what's going on with that first one, because you're playing strokes on a second ball that may not even matter, and you're wasting time and space. You hit the provisional ball, then you go find out what's going on with that first ball. I don't want to play in any of you guys' games. You guys are having these disputes. Wow. You guys are tough. All right. I knew the trusty rules book was coming. Provisional ball, 158. Announcing play of a provisional ball before the stroke is made, the player must announce that he or she is going to play a provisional ball. It is not enough for a player only to say that they are playing another ball or are playing again. They must use the word provisional, otherwise clearly indicate that he or she is playing a provisional ball. If a player does not announce this, that ball is the player's ball in play under penalty of stroke and distance. If she does not announce this and plays a ball from where the previous stroke was made, that ball is the player's ball in play under penalty of stroke and distance. Aha! If you do not announce that it is a provisional, wherever it goes, you own it, or even if your first ball is good. If you do not announce, I am hitting a provisional. I think my first one might be lost or out of bounds. I'm hitting a provisional. If you do not announce that and just hit another ball from the tee without announcing that, wherever the second ball goes, you own it, even if your first ball is good. No, that is penalty of stroke and 100. Stop. Penalty of stroke and distance, of course. Okay?
So you quick comment. You know, you said there's 50 women in here. Now we're all going to be playing tournaments, and this is why, you know, we're trying to be educated when we're playing in these tournaments. I called one time in an abandoned ball, and I said dead ball, and they said 3 women. What in the world is that?
Right.
And I tried to explain it to them. So now, how do you go about playing in a tournament? We're knowing the rules, but then you're playing with women that don't necessarily know the rules. How would you try and...
You're right. You're in a difficult situation. You're in a group. You know some stuff, and the people you're playing with don't know very much stuff. That can get difficult, can it? It can. What we ask for there is just, you know, you have to try to steer, and it, you know, it may be a tough job, and it might be an all-day one. But if you're playing in a tournament and there's people, the first thing I guess I would say to that is, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone, any golfer ever, if you're going to play in an event, it is your responsibility to understand the rules of the game that you're playing. Makes sense, right? Right. If I was going to play Monopoly with someone, or if we're going to play bridge, or we're going to play anything, we kind of get those rules straight before we start. So I am tasking each one of you to learn the rules of golf. They're available at usga.org, and it's all online. You can download their app and take some time. Hang on. An app is free. and take some time to learn the rules of the golf that the game of golf that you have invested so much money into and time and all of those things. I recommend it highly that everyone educate themselves, just like anything else. Get some education, and that way when you play, you don't have to be either one of those people. You don't have to be the cop the whole time, and you don't have to be the person that doesn't know anything and the other poor person is trying to tell you the whole day, here, got it over here. And they're doing the wrong thing. I completely agree with you, Sharon. That's a really good question. Go ahead, whoever's next. There's a bunch of hands up.
One more question on the lost and abandoned ball.
Okay.
How much time are you gonna give?
3 minutes. The rules of golf have changed. It is now 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes to look. If you haven't found it in 3 minutes, too bad. Ball's gone. Good question. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
The sprinkler heads around the green.
Yeah.
What is the rule regarding that?
All right. That one takes a picture. Okay. Sprinkle head around the green. I know a guy that did a video about this.
Yes, I watched.
Yes, and is this a local rule?
This is a local rule that has been adopted by Worthington Country Club. Okay. So, it is an allowed USGA rules of golf. What the USGA did in 2019 is they said, we have got a sprinkler head rule. We are allowing each club to make their decision on whether or not they want to use this rule or not. We are. Here is what it is, because it only speeds up play, it only helps, and it only makes sense. I have hit my ball. Here it is. And there are 2 sprinkler heads, 8 sprinkler heads, 1 sprinkler head. Does not matter. Between me and where I want to go. Here's the rules on how this works. The first thing that must exist is that your golf ball must be within 2 club lengths of the sprinkler head. If your ball is within 2 club lengths of the sprinkler head, we can go on to point number 2. Point number 2, the sprinkler head must be within 2 club lengths of the green. So, the sprinkler head's way over here. Too bad. Okay. So, if the sprinkler head is within 2 club lengths of the green, and the ball is within 2 club lengths of the sprinkler head, and you want to putt, you may take your nearest relief plus 1 club, which would get you out and away from the sprinkler head depending on your point of nearest relief. However, you must take your point of nearest relief, do the arc, the whole 9 yards. That is the sprinkler head in my way thing. There is a second way a sprinkler head could be in your way. Your ball is on the sprinkler head. Same deal. I get free relief. I do not deserve to try to hit a ball off a sprinkler head. I would get my nearest relief plus 1 club length. No nearer the hole. 2 ways sprinkler heads can get in your way. I want to putt or my ball's on it. Okay? I don't get the same rules in the middle of the fairway for a ball that's close to a sprinkler head unless you think you're going to hit it or stand on it. But if it's close to the green, because it's within 2 club lengths of the green and they think you want to putt, that's where you can get the one where you can go to the side. Good questions. Who's got a good one?
I was playing with somebody one day, and they said that on a par 3, let's just say that you did go into the bushes on number 7, and we're going to re-tee it. They said that if you hit it off the ground and you're re-teeing it, that is 1 stroke. But if you had it on a tee,
No.
that's 2 strokes.
What's cool about that is you're replaying the shot. You're replaying the original shot. So if the original shot was from the teeing ground, you get to go back the second time, and you could choose to hit the first one off a tee and the second one off the ground, or vice versa. The teeing ground allows those things to happen. You get to make a choice when you're hitting a tee shot. So only when you're hitting a tee shot. But you would get to choose whether or not you wanted to tee, not tee, or any of those things.
One thing, just to clarify that, on 13, if you hit your ball in the water, and then you're gonna re-tee, you can move up and hit it up in front of the red tee. Say I played the goal tees, I don't have to tee it up in the goal, I can hit it right in front of the red tees off the ground.
Okay.
Right.
That's a completely different situation. Hang on. That could be, she can be right and she can be wrong depending on what she's talking about. So let's draw it. We're on 13. Lucky number 13. And we've got a tee box. And on our tee box, we've got some red tees. I don't have gold with me, so just kind of bear with me here. 2 sets of tees, right? And then I've got in front of me, yeah, right, I got bushes. You know, when the water's over here and then the green's up here, right?